Unbelievable Amazon rainforest wonders you've never seen before. Did you know that the Amazon rainforest is one of the greatest mysteries on the planet that is yet to be fully solved? When we think of the wonders of this forest, our minds go straight to its lush landscapes, but what many people don't know is that it holds even more incredible secrets. From exotic creatures with abilities that defy human logic to complex ecological systems that, without us even realizing it, sustain the balance of the entire planet. The Amazon rainforest is not just a place, it is the key to the survival of the Earth and, who knows, to our own future. But what happens when this key starts to rust? And what can you, on the other side, do to protect these precious secrets? Get ready for a journey full of discoveries, mysteries and, of course, challenges. Let's explore the most incredible wonders of this forest together, and you will see why it cannot be forgotten. Because, at the end of the day, whoever explores the Amazon today will be guarding tomorrow. They say that the Amazon breathes for all of us, and that's no exaggeration. This colossal tropical ecosystem, covered by a green blanket that stretches for millions of kilometers, acts as a true carbon sink. It absorbs so much CO2 that it acts as a silent shield against the most extreme effects of climate change. This is where the magic happens, a forest that literally sweats, releasing moisture and cooling the planet. Who would have thought that the sweat of trees, the so-called plant transpiration, even helps to form clouds? It's curious to think that a single Amazonian tree can provide enough oxygen for 2 people for an entire year. Now multiply that by billions of trees, living with the Amazonian fauna in perfect harmony. It's in this scenario that the harpy eagle flies over the treetops in search of prey and the macaw screams from above, announcing its presence. Everything vibrates with life there. And it's no wonder that they call this forest the lungs of the earth, although, among us, it is also the beating heart of biodiversity. Want to see how this connects to your daily life? Have you noticed the relationship between intense heat in cities and the lack of green areas? Imagine this on a planetary scale. Preserving the Amazon rainforest is like taking care of our own breathing. Small actions, supporting reforestation projects, consuming responsibly sourced products, sharing reliable information about environmental protection, make a difference. And if the forest takes care of us, maybe it's time for us to take better care of it too. Because what comes next will show you why it is also a natural pharmacy hidden in the middle of the world. Medicinal wealth and biodiversity. If someone told you that in the middle of the dense forest there is a natural arsenal of healing, would you believe it? Well, that is exactly what the Amazon rainforest represents. With a biodiversity that leaves any other tropical ecosystem in the dust, this region is home to Amazonian medicinal plants capable of treating everything from simple headaches to chronic diseases. The indigenous people of the Amazon have known this for centuries. And do you know what's even more interesting? Long before modern science mapped molecules, they were already extracting knowledge directly from nature, with surgical precision. About 25% of the medicines you find in the pharmacy come from plants such as passion fruit, passiflora, cocoa and heliconia. All of this is harvested there, among the rivers of the Amazon, where traditional knowledge still resists. Want a real example? Cat's claw, a powerful vine, is used by local communities to strengthen the immune system, and today it is sold in capsules in stores all over the world. The use of plants in traditional medicine is gaining global prominence, while here, many of these species remain unknown to a large part of the population. The wealth is so absurd that scientists estimate that we still don't even know half of what exists there. And while illegal mining and deforestation in the Amazon advance, each lost species could be a cure that we will never see. Now, imagine being able to identify a medicine directly from the forest before it even reaches the laboratories. Understanding this potential changes everything. And it is precisely in this mysterious and powerful terrain that some of the most emblematic animals of the Amazon fauna emerge, including the one that reigns supreme at the top of the food chain. Jaguar, top predator. Majestic, silent and deadly, the jaguar is the shadow that moves among the branches of the Amazon rainforest. Its golden eyes pierce the dense forest as if nothing there were an obstacle. A solitary hunter, it is a living symbol of balance in the tropical ecosystem. When it hunts, it regulates. And when it disappears, chaos ensues. The absence of the jaguar unbalances entire populations, even affecting plants, in an invisible chain that only those who understand the role of top predators can see. But the jaguar is not just strength. It is intelligence and pure strategy. Contrary to what many people think, it loves to swim, and it does it masterfully. It navigates the Amazon rivers in silence, surprising even the red piranhas. Its roar can be heard for miles, but it rarely reveals itself. Unfortunately, this queen of the forest today walks under threat. Deforestation in the Amazon, illegal mining and illegal animal trade are reducing its territory and jeopardizing its survival. These are silent attacks on one of the greatest icons of the Amazonian fauna. If you've ever seen an environmental protection campaign, chances are you've seen an image of a jaguar there, staring at the camera with the intensity of someone who carries the entire forest in their eyes. And it's no wonder. Preserving the jaguar means preserving the entire Amazon. It's the thermometer for the health of this ecosystem. And, curiously, it lives side by side with another iconic creature that's much slower, but no less fascinating. A creature that carries an entire forest on its back. Literally. Sloths in symbiosis. If there were a course on patience, the sloth would be the teacher. With its slow movements, it seems to live in another time, a time where haste has no place. But what many people don't know is that this slowness is a brilliant strategy. In a tropical ecosystem where everything moves fast, being slow helps it not to be noticed. Furthermore, a sloth's digestion can take up to a month, because its metabolism is almost like a living meditation. Literally, he eats slowly, lives slowly, and even comes down from the tree only once a week to do his business. But the sloth doesn't walk alone, it's practically a condominium in motion. On its back, algae and small insects live, finding a safe and humid environment there. In exchange, the algae help with camouflage, dyeing its fur with greenish tones that confuse even the harpy eagle. This is symbiosis in practice, a fair and efficient exchange. And do you want some practical insight? Learning from the sloth is remembering that, sometimes, going slowly is survival. That it's possible to live more connected to the natural rhythm, without running around like a school of piranhas all the time. Some people say that sloths are just slow and funny. But the truth is that they are an example of how animal adaptations can shape behavior and ensure survival in challenging environments. And when we look up, between the treetops, we can see that this forest is the stage for even more impressive relationships, between screams that echo in the distance and powerful wings that cross the jungle skies with ancient strength. Harpy eagles and howler monkeys. If the Amazon sky had a sovereign, it would be the harpy. With claws bigger than those of a brown bear and a strength capable of carrying animals of its own weight, this bird is not only the most powerful in the world, it is a living legend. It lives in the treetops, like a silent guardian of the tropical ecosystem. And here's a curious detail, it only gives birth to one offspring every 2 or 3 years, which shows how precious each birth is. When it flies, even the jaguar stops and watches. It is the queen of the skies, without question. But the forest sky is not silent. Howler monkeys, known for their guttural song that echoes for miles, form true wild symphonies among the branches. They live in organized family groups, with a hierarchy that leaves many condominiums out there in the dust. They communicate constantly, warning about predators, territorial disputes, or simply saying, "Here I am." It is a complex social structure, with rules and rituals. And for those who think that animals have no culture, maybe it is time to rethink that concept. These relationships show that the forest breathes in multiple layers, from the humid soil to the skies filled with songs. And while the harpies watch from above and the howler monkeys maintain order among the trees, there are other characters that shine with color, intelligence, and a crucial function in the renewal of life. They do not roar or fly silently. But their beaks are always full of stories and seeds. Toucans, colorful and intelligent. With their giant, vibrant beaks, toucans are one of the most charismatic creatures in the Amazon rainforest. But you'd be wrong if you thought that toucans only attract attention because of their color and beauty. Their beak, although large and seemingly disproportionate, is a wonder of nature. In addition to being used to search for food and regulate body temperature, it also serves to communicate, which demonstrates the intelligence of these birds. Imagine that, in the intense heat of the forest, the toucan can even use its beak as a natural fan to cool itself down. A trick that few people know. In addition to its adaptability, the toucan is also a seed disperser. Its ecological role goes far beyond its appearance. When it eats fruit, it spreads seeds over a large area, contributing to the growth and regeneration of local flora. This process is crucial for maintaining the biodiversity of the Amazon. If you stop to think about it, with each toucan that flies over the forest, the future of the vegetation is being designed, one tree at a time. And all this happens with a simple flight and a beautiful colorful beak. This relationship between the toucan and the vegetation is a clear example of how the Amazonian fauna and flora are intertwined. Each species there has a unique role that goes far beyond its beauty or behavior. They are, in fact, the architects of an ecosystem that depends on each small gesture, like the toucan transporting its seeds. And speaking of natural transport, if the vegetation spreads with the toucan, another being, more silent and meticulous, also has its own way of spreading through the forest. But with a more subtle method. Cocoa tree and cultural value. The cocoa tree is more than just a tree, it is a gateway to the history and culture of the Amazon. When you think of chocolate, you probably imagine a delicious bar, but what few people know is that the cocoa tree, which produces pods directly from the trunk, was a valuable currency for indigenous peoples and even for the first colonizers. The dark brown color of the cocoa seed has the power to awaken a global market, but before that, it was an essential part of local daily life, being used both as food and as a ritual. Did you know that cocoa was so valuable that, in ancient Mesoamerican civilizations, it was considered food of the gods? But behind this chocolate that you love, there is a whole story of connection with nature. The animals of the Amazon are not mere supporting actors in the production of cocoa, they are part of an ecological cycle that ensures the continuity of this ancient culture. Several mammals, such as howler monkeys, consume the sweet pulp of the fruit, helping to disperse the seeds. It's as if every time a monkey tastes a fruit, it is unwittingly helping to regenerate the forest. Here, nature and human culture intertwine in a delicious and symbiotic way. And who would have thought that a simple piece of chocolate could be the key to understanding the complex relationships between humans and nature? When you taste chocolate, you are connecting with the history of indigenous peoples, with the animals that help disperse the seeds, and even with the forests that need to be preserved. Cacao isn't just sweet to the taste, it's also a reminder that in the Amazon, everything has a vital role to play. And if you think cacao has something to teach you about culture and responsible consumption, wait until you learn about the impact other species have on local biodiversity. Unique mammals and birds. In the vastness of the Amazon rainforest, the diversity of mammals and birds is like a living collection of rare wonders. One of the highlights is the tapir, a shy and nocturnal mammal that, despite its imposing size, is rarely seen. They play a vital role in the forest as herbivores, dispersing seeds of essential plants. Their trails through the forest help to create natural regeneration spaces for new plants to grow. In a deeper sense, they remind us that often the most powerful things are hidden in the shadows. Sometimes, the greatness of something lies in its stealth. Meanwhile, birds such as monkeys and toucans are the visual artists of the forest. The monkeys, with their complex social structure and family interactions, show that the Amazon is more than a jungle, it is a true community. They interact with the vegetation in such subtle but essential ways that they become the gardeners of the forest. Their work of spreading seeds ensures that the right plants grow in the right places, creating a robust and resilient ecosystem. Toucans, in turn, continue to be the messengers between the ground and the branches, with their vibrant colors and crucial role in seed dispersal. These species are like the invisible cogs that make the Amazon's ecological system work. They not only survive, but actively collaborate to ensure that the cycle of life continues. And even with the increasing impact of human activities such as deforestation and illegal mining, the role of these creatures in keeping nature in balance has never been more important. What would happen if the monkeys, tapirs and toucans disappeared? We can only imagine how different, and perhaps less vibrant, the forest would become. Now, can we learn from how these animals adapt and preserve their environment, while others, such as snakes and reptiles, have their own secrets to ensuring survival? Adaptations in reptiles and amphibians. The Amazon is a land of secrets, where even reptiles and amphibians show unique adaptations to survive. Imagine an iguana, which basks in the sun for hours to regulate its body temperature. Without this adaptation, it would not be able to survive in this tropical environment, where the heat is intense and shade is rare. These reptiles are true masters at taking advantage of the resources around them to ensure that their bodies function as efficiently as possible. By observing this behavior, it is possible to learn the importance of managing our energy and knowing when and how to recharge to face challenges. Another fascinating example is the eyelash viper, with its ability to perfectly camouflage itself in its environment. Its ability to hide from predators and prey makes it one of the most effective hunters in the forest. This adaptation is not just a visual trick, it is a survival strategy. And the poison dart frog, with its vibrant coloration, teaches another important aspect. Warning. Its colors warn predators that it is not worth trying, as its venom is lethal. These lessons in adaptation are essential for anyone who wants to learn how to navigate life's difficulties, whether with caution or with the ability to hide in plain sight. These reptiles and amphibians aren't just surviving in the Amazon, they're thriving, each in a way that fits perfectly into their environment. Their bodies, behaviors, and even their camouflage or alert strategies have a lot to teach us about resilience and flexibility. And while these creatures dominate the forest floor, there are other beings that are also doing their part. But in a completely different scenario, one where water, breathing, and size are the big players. Adaptation knows no bounds, and the Amazon is full of examples of this. Aquatic giants and air breathers. The Amazon isn't just made up of trees and terrestrial life, its rivers are like pulsating arteries, full of life. Among the aquatic giants that inhabit these rivers, the arapaima stands out, one of the largest freshwater fish in the world. Up to 3 meters long, this fish doesn't depend solely on water to breathe. It needs to come to the surface every 15 minutes to breathe air, an incredible adaptation in an environment so rich in water. This shows how even the largest beings in the Amazon have their own strategies to ensure survival. The lesson here is clear: sometimes, we need to leave our comfort zone, breathe and renew our strength to move forward. Giant otters are also true protagonists of the Amazon rivers. Up to 1.8 meters long, they live in family groups and have a diet that can include up to 4 kilograms of fish per day. Their social organization is fascinating and shows how, in any ecosystem, collaboration is essential. These animals are like mothers of the water, looking out for each other and making sure everyone has what they need to survive. When you think of otters, also think about the importance of leaning on the people around you to achieve your goals. They're not alone, and neither should you be. These air-breathing, aquatic giants are proof that in the Amazon, everything is a matter of adaptation and synergy. Each creature has its own unique way of breathing, interacting, and thriving in an environment that, at first, seems to be full of challenges. But deep down, the lesson is always the same: life in the Amazon is about balance. Now, can we apply this balance to our own lives? After all, the Amazon teaches us that sometimes we need to take a step out of the water and breathe a little in order to continue living fully. Butterflies and camouflaged insects. In the heart of the Amazon, the colorful and beautiful camouflaged butterflies and insects are a spectacle in themselves. The glass-winged butterfly, for example, uses its transparency as a natural shield, becoming almost invisible among the leaves. This camouflage phenomenon is not only fascinating, it serves as a lesson in how to be discreet and yet effective. Sometimes, the key to success is not in showing yourself to the world, but in acting wisely, in moments of calm and discretion. Who would have thought that a simple butterfly could teach us so much about the art of protecting ourselves? And, if transparency is an example of subtlety, the owl butterfly is an example of strategic intelligence. Its wings, which imitate the eyes of a predator, are an intelligent defense against enemies. Imagine, then, the importance of always being prepared to face challenges, using the camouflage of experience and wisdom. Life teaches us that in some situations, we need to create an appearance of strength to dissuade those who try to harm us. The trick is to know how to use these strategies wisely. Macaws and social communication. Macaws are truly one of the greatest symbols of social communication in the Amazon. With their vibrant colors and remarkable intelligence, they are not only beautiful, but also extremely social. Macaws form lasting emotional bonds and live in groups, interacting in complex and dynamic ways. When you watch a macaw in action, you quickly understand that, for them, communication is not just an exchange of sounds, but a strategy to strengthen bonds, share information and even ensure survival. This teaches us that, in our lives, effective communication is an essential tool, not only to grow, but to thrive in society. However, not everything is so simple for these birds. Unfortunately, many species of macaws are threatened due to illegal trafficking and habitat loss. What was once abundant is now increasingly rare. It is a reminder of the impact of human actions on the environment. When nature speaks, with its colors and sounds, we need to listen. Like the macaw, we too are at risk when our connections with others, and the world around us, are broken. Every action, whether for conservation or not, leaves a legacy. The free-flying macaw also teaches us the importance of maintaining our freedom of expression and community. So when you think about macaws, think not only of their beauty, but also of their message. Life is about building strong and sustainable connections. They show us that by caring for the collective and fostering open communication, society can thrive. And while the forest pulsates with the energy of these birds, there are other creatures that also need attention to ensure that their communication and their environment remain preserved. Can we learn to apply this same communicative power to our own relationships? Glass frogs and manatees. The glass frogs of the Amazon are undoubtedly one of the most fascinating creatures in the ecosystem. With their transparent skin, they offer a unique insight into the natural world. When observing them, we can even see their beating hearts, a powerful reminder of the life that flows within each being. These frogs not only survive in one of the most hostile environments on the planet, but they do so in a way that is completely integrated with their nature. Their transparency is a strategy to avoid predators, as if their very essence were a form of defense. Sometimes, being transparent in our intentions can also be a form of protection, showing who we are without hiding anything, but always with the wisdom that not everything should be revealed. And if the glass frog symbolizes vulnerability and resilience, the Amazonian manatee is an example of peaceful adaptation and tranquility. These gentle giants, which can weigh up to 600 kilograms, are known for their calm nature and their crucial role in maintaining the aquatic ecosystem. They consume up to 200 kilograms of vegetation per day, helping to control the growth of aquatic plants and maintain the balance of aquatic fauna. The relationship between the manatee and the underwater vegetation is symbiotic. It feeds in a balanced way, which allows the environment to remain healthy for the other species. Sometimes, the secret to balance is not in fighting, but in knowing what is necessary to maintain harmony around you. Both creatures, glass frogs and manatees, represent unique forms of adaptation and survival, whether through transparency as a defense or the peace they bring to their habitat. They teach us that every action in the ecosystem, no matter how small it seems, has an impact. How can we apply this lesson to our lives? How can we be more mindful of our surroundings while also creating spaces of harmony and preservation? When we see these creatures, we realize that nature, like life, is full of complexity and interconnection. But there are even more wonders ahead, and perhaps the next forest creature will have something to teach us as well. Predators and the balance of prey. In the Amazon, predators play a vital role in keeping the ecosystem in balance. The black caiman, for example, is a master hunter on both land and water. Its ability to move silently and strike with precision makes it one of the most efficient predators in the region. However, what many people don't know is that these predators, despite their ferocity, are also essential for controlling the populations of other species. They prevent certain creatures from proliferating excessively, ensuring that the natural balance is maintained. This teaches us a powerful lesson. In the world, the balance between opposing forces is what allows everything to function harmoniously. And alongside the caiman, we have the red piranha, which is another social hunter. Its powerful bite and cooperative nature in groups make it an unbeatable predator when it is in a group. Although they may be feared for their aggressiveness, piranhas play a fundamental role in cleaning rivers and maintaining the health of the aquatic environment. They feed on carrion, helping to prevent the spread of diseases. In a way, the red piranha reminds us of the importance of group collaboration. As in life, joining forces can generate immeasurable results, much more so than if each person acts alone. As much as these creatures are predators, they are not simply threats to life. They are part of a larger cycle, in which each act of hunting is also a way of ensuring ecological balance. They teach us about the need for action and reaction in nature, where everything has a fundamental role to play. And while predators maintain the balance, other beings in the forest perform equally vital functions, perhaps with very different tactics and skills, but equally essential. Are we ready to understand how all these roles intertwine in an invisible but indispensable way? Rivers and geography of the region. The Amazon is not just a forest, it is also a vast maze of rivers that cut through the region, shaping and giving life to the ecosystem. The Amazon River, the largest in the world by volume of water, once had a different course. Before the rise of the Andes, this river flowed in the opposite direction, towards the Pacific Ocean. It is fascinating to think how geological changes have changed the course of one of the most important rivers on Earth, just as changes that occur in our lives can reorient our paths. The history of the Amazon River is a reminder that, on our journey, changes are inevitable, but with them, new possibilities arise. Another fascinating aspect of the geography of the Amazon is the meeting of the waters, where the Amazon River meets the Rio Negro. The waters of both rivers do not mix immediately, creating a visible contrast that can be seen for miles. This is because the waters of the Rio Negro are more acidic and have a lower temperature than those of the Amazon. This phenomenon is an example of how two seemingly opposite worlds can coexist without overlapping. It can be a metaphor for our lives, where different perspectives and experiences can coexist, enriching the whole, without one needing to swallow the other. The way the Amazon rivers intertwine and influence the ecosystem shows the importance of water in creating a perfect balance. As in the rainforest water cycle, where evaporation, plant transpiration and precipitation create a continuous flow, we can learn that the changes we experience are also part of a cycle. Everything has a role to play, from major geographical changes to small daily decisions. This leads us to reflect on the impact of our actions and how, by being connected to the environment around us, we can navigate our own changes more harmoniously. Human impacts and conservation. The human impact on the Amazon rainforest is one of the greatest challenges of our time. Deforestation, illegal mining and animal trafficking are just some of the threats that the Amazon faces daily. Every tree that is cut down, every hectare of land that is destroyed, has a direct impact on biodiversity and the balance of the ecosystem. The forest, which is one of the largest carbon sinks on the planet, is losing its ability to absorb CO2, contributing to the worsening of climate change. This is an alarming reality that demands immediate action, but also a reflection on how our daily choices impact the future. On the other hand, nature conservation in the Amazon is becoming an urgent, but not impossible, mission. Several preservation efforts are being made, through NGOs, local communities and even public policies, to try to reverse the situation. The preservation of Amazonian biodiversity, with its medicinal plants, unique fauna and water resources, is crucial not only for Brazil, but for the entire planet. One of the most effective ways to help is to support conservation and conscious consumption projects. Imagine that, by choosing to support brands that invest in sustainable practices, you are directly contributing to the protection of the planet's green lung. Yet global warming continues to be a growing threat. The effects of climate change are already visible. More intense droughts, irregular rainfall, and rising global temperatures. All of this is damaging the Amazon ecosystem, threatening its plants and animals. However, every step we take towards environmental protection, whether through individual or collective actions, has the potential to create a positive effect, not only on the forest, but on the entire planet. The Amazon challenges us to reflect on our collective responsibility in preserving one of the world's greatest natural treasures. What can you do to ensure that this legacy continues for future generations? Now that you have seen some of the most impressive wonders of the Amazon rainforest, the question is, what will you do with this knowledge? The future of our biodiversity in the Amazon is in our hands, and perhaps the actions you take from now on could be the key to preserving this heritage. So, what can you do today to contribute? It could be something as simple as supporting conservation initiatives or even educating others about the importance of this forest. If each of us does our part, the chances of saving the Amazon and, with it, the balance of our planet, increase considerably. But don't stop there. Keep exploring, learning and, most importantly, taking action. Subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any more transformative content about the natural world. This is just the beginning of a journey of awareness and action. What are you waiting for to make a difference? The planet is counting on you.